Sat with me on the top table before I introduce Shaun is Terry Crystal here. To my furthest left is Clive Lawrence. I also have Graham Bean from Football Factors and Joe McLean from Grand Thornton. We're also very honoured to have in the room Steve Prescott, who many of you know, and he will be addressing us probably 3/4 of the way through the proceedings today to tell us about his charity and the work that his charity deals with. It is with great pride and honour that I introduce Shaun Edwards, who sits here to my right.
I think we've always had injuries in all the games, all sports, and in particular, you know, I can only really speak for the rugby lads. I mean, obviously they've got the boxing guys who, you know, we all admire them greatly, and the footballers, etc. Football is a tough game as well. Is that, you know, this is one of the reasons these kids, you know, you get young kids going up and asking these guys for their autograph, because, you know, they go out there on the pitch and they put, you know, their own personal safety at risk, you know, for our own entertainment. And
I mean, I think at the end of the day, one has to accept that rugby union, rugby league, boxing as well are contact sports. Now, therefore, there are going to be injuries that occur, and therefore we look at it as doctors that our role really is to try and help with the coaches like Shaun and others, and to meet and try and make the game safer so that people can play a game and at the age of 35 retire injury-free.
The game is about those who pay and those who play, and that's what it's about. So you need, if you want to play top-class football or top-class sport in Britain in 2010, you have to be supremely fit. So if you're going to be encouraging 35,000 or 40,000 people to come to this ground tomorrow or next week or whatever, you have to make sure that your players are absolutely in top-class physical condition.
You know, the simple fact is that what the FA do is they sort of react to media pressure. You know, if there is an issue at a Chelsea game, then, you know, the FA will be chomping at the bit from an egotistical point of view to sort of, they say, look, you know, we sort of, you know, we're going to sort of stamp down on this sort of thing. But the same thing happens at Rochdale, nobody's interested, and that can't sort of be right for the game.
Lawyers have an increasingly dominant role. We've spoken about player safety, salary cap, we've heard about whether you could apply retrospective rules. I just wondered what your take was, Clive, on what was being discussed so far.
I think there is a genuine issue with safety in the game for the reasons that we've heard from Shaun and from Terry, from everybody. Players are fitter, they are stronger, they're faster, and therefore the risks of the game are greater than they ever have been. I think the other dimension is that we're talking about professional sports that generate a considerable amount of money. And the main place they generate that from is the broadcasters. And the broadcasters want certain things. They want spectacular events with the best players in the world, and they want them whenever they can get them.
Morning, John Hammond. Can I pick up on something Shaun just said about the next generation coming through and your youngster? What do the panel think of the motivation for these youngsters coming up? In the perfect world, we think, I want to play for my country, the romantic ideal is the most important thing. For a lot of the youngsters, if they're out there kicking a ball in under Obeeston at the moment, are they thinking, I want a really good-looking girl like Cheryl Cole on my arm, I want a Ferrari to drive and I want a big house, and that's my real motivation? And if that's the case, safety, does it really worry me now?
I think the first reason I know I started playing rugby is because I wanted to be with my mates and have a good time. And hopefully that is still the main reason we all start playing sport, because we want to have the camaraderie of being a team sport. In individual sports it's a little bit different, but I think we all have that competitive edge within us. Some people are incredibly competitive when it comes to academics. You know, for me, I was more obviously a sportsman, and I think it's in human nature to be competitive. As regards, do young players look enviously at Joe Cole's girlfriend? I'm not quite sure about that. I hope my son doesn't. He's only 12, 13 yet, but maybe when he's about 15 or 16, I won't mind it. But as regards, yeah, there is particularly, as you say, in the game of football in particular, there are great wealth and you know, to attain to. And I know a big drive in my life, because my father was obviously injured, was that I wanted to look after my mum and dad financially. I wanted to give them something back, and I've been able to do that. They live in my house in Wigan now, and that probably gives me more satisfaction than any of them, as well as the medals that I've won along, you know, playing for Wigan, etc. And there's nothing like you know, when you make a few quid, is looking after the people that you love, and I'm sure that's could be a big motivation. And a lot of people like Ryan Giggs, I know he looks after his mother very well, etc. And I think that's a big motivation, as well as the selfish thing of you want a nice car.